Hi, my name is Patrick Hennessy. The story I'm going to be telling you today is about how my family got to be here in Washington. So, my parents got married when my mom was 17 and my dad was 18. My dad had to ask my mom's dad, my grandpa, for permission, of course, because she was 17. And he said yes, so they got married. And then they lived in Danbury, Connecticut for a few years. And at first, my uncle moved to California because that's where he was in the army, and that's just where he happened to get shipped. And my aunt moved to Washington because there wasn't any work or anything for her to do in Connecticut, so she moved there. And I think back then it was kind of like land of new hope, kind of on the West Coast. It wasn't as developed as it is now. So my dad kind of followed suit, I guess, and decided to move to Washington. He didn't really have any money, so he couldn't just fly out here and buy a house or anything like that. So he decided that he's gonna take trains and hitchhike and work along the way to make money and just be able to get over here to get a good, consistent job and hopefully raise a family. So he just hitchhiked across the country, found little jobs in Montana and North Dakota to just make enough money to survive and to be able to make it over here. So once he eventually got over here, he had to stay in a tent or like a trailer or something for a little bit because he didn't have any money. But eventually he was able to get a job and then was able to save up enough money to get a little apartment. And then eventually he had to save up enough money to buy an airplane ticket for my mom to move her out here because while he was doing all of this, she was staying at her parents' house because she was not about to travel all the way across the country on a train and hitchhiking. So eventually he was able to make enough money to fly her out to Washington. And then they got a little apartment, and then eventually they were able to save up enough money to buy a property near a lake um, where they still live today. And um, have lived here for 30 years, and they've been married for 36 years, and they still live on the same property that they originally did. But it's a different house, a new house. At first, when they moved there, they lived in a little trailer, and then just like kind of a small house, and eventually they were able to save up and build a bigger house, and that's where they currently live. And I have a lot of family that lives out here now. I have a whole bunch of cousins and aunt and uncles, and I still have a lot of family that lives on the East Coast. I don't really know them or see them as much, and I can never really imagine what it would be like if my parents decided to stay in Connecticut and not move out here, because my dad went to trade school in Connecticut to be a plumber, so that's what he got a job doing over here. But he says his other option would have been to be a New York City firefighter, so I can't imagine what life would be like if that was to happen. And that is how I got to be in Washington.